Hey everyone, it's Paul Turner here from therealpaulturner.com. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm recording this video because at the minute I'm getting pitched a lot. Probably because I'm kind of building up my following on Twitter, so I'm getting a lot of equivalent of spam, really. You know, somebody follows you on Twitter and straight away sends you a link without knowing what you're doing. So look, I'm going to give you a piece of advice now if you're one of those serial pitchers that follow up with people. You get sent the link, and the good thing, I actually quite welcome it when people pitch me, because I'll say something like, well, I'll take a look, because you have to be open-minded, don't you? And they go, yes you do. And I say, cool, here's my link. So it's a great way of being able to do that as well. But then when they get the follow-up, when they follow up with me, it's, what did you think of the video? What did you think of the video? Well, if I turn around and say, well, I think it's rubbish, they've got nowhere to go, have they? There's nothing to do. If they say, what did you like best about the video, that's better, because I'm going to say, well, you know, maybe I like the residual income aspect of it, I like the way the company's set up or whatever. But it's not going to make me change my mind if I didn't like the business. It's not going to make it happen. Still might not make it happen, but this is the best I've heard, and I can't take credit for this. This comes from someone else, but the line is, okay, so Fred, based on what you saw, working part-time, what would it take to make it worth your while? Based on what you saw, working part-time, what would you need to make it worth your while, and in what time frame? So I didn't like the business, and somebody asked me that, and I go, well, I'd have to make $5,000 a month from it. And they say, okay, yeah, so how many hours a week, part-time, could you commit to making your $5,000 a month? And I go, well, I can only do 2 hours a week. And they say, okay, and how many years or months would you expect it to take to make you $5,000 a month, recurring income, working 2 hours a week? And I go, well, I'd give it 3 months. At that point, if they're a professional network marketer, they'll turn around and they say, well, to do $5,000, you need X amount of people. And in 2 hours a week, quite frankly, it's not really going to happen for you. But the $5,000 is very achievable. Would you be willing to move on either the time frame or the hours a week you could work on it? And then I've gone from not liking it to thinking, okay, I could pick something ridiculous. I could say $10,000 a month, okay? And the person makes it seem more achievable. Okay, yeah, that's doable, but not at 2 hours a week. And I think, okay, well, it's doable. It's doable. So I might say, well, how many hours a week would I have to work? And they might say, well, could you do maybe 10 hours a week? You know, 5 hours a week. Could you give it 6 months and see how you're doing? You know, at the end of 3 months, if you're only making 2,500, but you could see the potential for it to grow, would you stay with it? It gives you an opportunity rather than just hated it. You know, very rarely do I think people watch a video and go, yeah, I think it's great, unless they're kind of pre-framed, i.e. they're kind of, you've done the pre-framing and told them what to look for if it answers all their concerns, and you only really do that by hitting lucky or by talking to somebody and building a relationship with them and getting to know about them. Okay, and it didn't take long necessarily all the time, but you know, sometimes. So I spoke to somebody earlier today, and you know what they want to make with what I do, it's just 6 sales. You know, it's not it's not a lot. People are doing that in a week, you know, 6 sales, and that would give them the income level they wanted. It was just to top up the money they get. So, you know, 2 hours a week, giving it 3 months, yeah, I mean, that would be, yeah, that's easily achievable, if you see what I'm saying. Whereas if I just send them the link to the business opportunity, they might look at it and go, God, no, it's not for me, it's too complicated, I couldn't do it. But if I tell them, yeah, that is achievable in that time frame, and so on and so on. So I hope that helps. Just, you know, don't give yes or no's. Asking what did you like is better, but better to ask that, based on what you saw, working part-time, what would it take to make it worth your while, and in what time frame? And that's a great line I've used on more than one occasion. Okay, see you on the next video. If you want to check out my blog, by the way, I'm going to put the title on here on this video, or it'll be beneath it or somewhere. But there's lots of free training that I'm putting up on my blog all the time at the minute. There's loads of value stuff there. Most of it you don't even have to opt in. Okay, but if you do opt in, you'll get a lot more. But it's up to you. Okay, I'll look forward to seeing you on the blog. Cheers, guys.